NBA Straya. How are you going? Hey, Jan. Are you good? You should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, it's Friday. TGIF, am I right? And also, basketball, give me the ball, cause I'm gonna dunk it. Yeah! What an awesome couple of moments today. That was very fun. It is Friday, March 20. I'm your host, James Clements, here in Larryama Studios. It's NBA Straya, and it's Power Rankings Friday. That's what we do. LUKA dropped 60. We're going to ask, can he win MVP? Oh, boy. Cade Cunningham has a collapsed lung. WTF? We're going to talk about that. We got a Wemby game winner. We've got the playoff races worth checking in on right now. Instead of like the standings check, we can do that, which is a really good one. A lot of, other sort of stuff. We'll fly through some game wraps today because we had a couple of belters and a couple of absolute stinkers. We'll still do that on the night. Four mate, no mate, spud of the night, better than Lonzo Ball. We've got some the unpopular opinion of the day, which is just the power rankings. And an Outback Takehouse. We were serving up a fine grilled take about 65 game benchmarks. Stop your sooking, you bloody sooks. Spoiler alert. There is an Andrew Gaze Great Mamba Award for outstanding achievement in the field of excellence. And we'll pick and preview the games for tomorrow for the weekend for you. Sound good? Good. Great. We'll do the Australian player watch in there too. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1366 of NBA Australia. Let's go.
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Australia.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
Oh, you better. Or you better watch out for the LUKA DONČIĆ attack. If you're the Miami Heat, yeesh, that game was psycho. You could also watch out for the LeBron James attack if you're the Miami Heat. Remember how he used to play for them? Feels like 1 million years ago, doesn't it? Geez, Jim, it's because he went back to Cleveland 12 years ago now. That's crazy to think about, isn't it? It feels literally like, I don't know, 4 years ago max. I blame COVID for my memory loss. Anyway, that and the drinking. Right, it's a big Friday edition. Let's get into it with the daily whip around. LeBron James. We just talked about him. He tied the Chief. He's kicked as many goals as Jason Dunstan. No. He tied the Chief, Robert Parrish, the big, tall, solemn-looking fella from the Boston Celtics. Later on the Hornets. And the Bulls in 97, remember that? Most regular season games ever, which is very cool. 1,611 games of NBA basketball. Just absurd. 23 years for the 41-year-old LeBron James. That is just incredible, isn't it? So Robert Parrish set the mark in 1996 when he went by Kareem, which was 1,560. And then he went by it when he retired in 1997, finishing on 1,611 regular season games. It's very cool. And I'm going to hit on this again a little bit later when we'll just rattle off some numbers, but that's pretty gnarly. LeBron's just going to have all the records, which is fine because he's played for 47 years and he's 268 years old. So it all makes sense. The big news today, Cade Cunningham. Yeesh. Erstwhile MVP contender, if you ask me. Geez, Jim, but look at LUKA and look at Wemby and look at SGA and look at Jokic. And yeah, look at the Detroit Pistons team without Cade Cunningham. Yeesh. Anyway, Cade Cunningham is out indefinitely with a collapsed lung. He's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. It is brutal. This sucks. We're going to talk about whether or not the Pistons can be caught in Yenars. And we'll talk about some standing stuff around then as well, right? We'll do that in Yenars. But the Pistons do own the tiebreaker with Boston, which is pretty good. They're 3.5 games up. We'll talk about all this in a second. But just in terms of having a collapsed bloody lung, It doesn't happen very often. It weirdly happened to CJ McCollum twice, you might remember. But otherwise, they usually tend to sort of miss that, like on average, apparently like 11 games. So that is a real rough one because that's about how many games the Pistons have left after today. It's what exactly do they have left? It's either 11 or 2. It might be 12 now after that. They have played 69 nice games. So yeah, they've got 13 remaining games. What a kick in the nards for the Pistons, but also for Cade. I mean, he's been absolutely awesome all year, to the tune of he's 25 and 10 a game, absolutely crushing it, contributing across the board, 24.5 points, 9.9 assists, 46% from the floor, crushing it, 5.6 rebounds. He's been unreal. This is horrible. And so the Pistons, number 1 in the East, lose their super duper star. And luckily today got to play Washington. So we didn't really learn anything from that because Washington in the capital city go-go's at this point. And the Pistons, I don't know, interesting schedule coming up. We'll talk about that later. Speaking of being shut down due to injury as well, Michael Porter Jr. Has been shut down essentially for the rest of the season. He was already shut down. Who are we joking here? Left hamstring sort of strain for the Brooklyn Net. The Nets obviously wanting to tank are just like, nah, we're good. You're done here. Obviously, that's what the Bucks were trying to do with Giannis, and Giannis is like, no, I don't want to be shut down. I want to play basketball. It's like, okay. Michael Porter Jr. is like, man, I got podcasts to tape. I've got to denigrate women. I've got to ask the really tough questions by being the world's dumbest idiot. Good job, MPJ. A little bit more on that Cade injury as well. So he got to, I think, 61 games for the season, and Tyrese Maxey got to 60. Now, there is this weird sort of thing. The 65 game mark, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later, you can actually apply for the 62 games played season-ending grievance exception. So if you've still played like 20-plus minutes in 62 games, you could still get this exception to get into like All-NBA consideration and stuff like that. But Maxey's played 60 and Cade's played 61. So they both still miss out. So we don't know if we're going to see Cade before the end of the regular season. It doesn't feel crazy like, I don't know, it just depends on how he recovers from a collapsed lung. And Maxey's got his bung finger. So we'll see what happens there. But it's a gee, you'll hear some chatter about the 65 game mark in the next week or two. Bloody hell. And I'm going to talk about that later, but you made your bed. Del Curry got his jersey retired in Charlotte. Isn't that nice? Aww. And then they beat the sans hell out of the Orlando Magic, man. But it was good to see Seth and Steph there with their dad, Del. And I don't know, Del was just hanging out with a bunch of hotties. It was a bit weird. It's like, all right, Del, sure. Anyway, that was really nice. It's like the Hornets. Look, I'm quite literally wearing a Seattle Supersonics t-shirt and hat. Geez, Jimmy, you still celebrating the fact that your team might come back? Yep, I am. And you can't stop me. It's my show. So, I love that 90s era Hornets team of like Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning, Mug the Bogs, Del Curry, etc. So, yeah, it's really kind of neat to sort of see them leaning into this a little bit more. Hey, let's do some very brief game wraps. Game wraps. Orlando got smashed by the Hornets on Del Curry night, 131-11. Paolo Banchero, Desmond Bain, they played. It didn't matter. They killed him. Absolutely smashed him in the second quarter, ran away with it. Brandon Spindles, Miller, LaMelo, they were awesome. 25 and 8 for Brandon Miller. That's 8 assists. I didn't realize he could pass. There you go. That was cool. The Pistons still curb stomped the Wizards 117-95. Jalen Duren, he just went, all right, I'm really good. I'll step up. 24 and 11. Dan Jenkins got the start. Wasn't that good. We'll talk about that in a second. The Lakers have won 8 on the trot. Bloody hell. LUKA DONČIĆ had 60 points. Were they ethical though, Jim? That's all that matters. Oh, bloody hell. 60 points, 7 rebounds, 5 steals. He was absolutely awesome. And they it took everything they kind of had in that third quarter to sort of get up, and then they just kept the heat at arm's length, essentially down the stretch. It was a really fun game. Thought it would be. This is on a back-to-back as well for the Lakers on a road back-to-back. They go from Houston. They didn't get into Miami until like apparently 5 a.m. today. They played at 8 p.m. local time there. That's crazy. And he drops 60. Jesus. Cleveland beat the Bulls 115-110. Bulls came flying back in this one. Josh Giddey had 19 assists a game and career high. That's awesome. And James Harden ends up sort of getting them over the line. He had 36, 7, and 9. They had this one in the bag, did your man Cleveland. And they put the cue in the rack and the Bulls woke up. Dropped 37 in the fourth quarter when it was all said and done. Made them basically get to this clutch bucket from James Harden that just got him over the line. It was crazy. We also had the Pelicans once again beat your LA Clippers 105-99. Sadiq Bey 26-6. You had Trent Murphy had 27. And as I mentioned on this year's show yesterday, Kawhi. For as good as he's been, I didn't think he'd play in this one, and he didn't. And that's why yesterday I tipped the Pelicans. I was sort of hoping you're listening. They started instead John Collins, Derek Jones Jr., Brook Lopez, Chris Dunn, and Jordan Miller. So this is like the Kawhi sort of conundrum that you're sort of stuck in, right? We talked about it on the NBA Supercoach show as well, and Jim does Supercoach at the start of the week. Like Kawhi I think they had 3 games this week, the Clippers, and you're sort of looking at it, it's like, well, 3 games of Kawhi, how do you feel about this? Turns out it was only 1, because he sprained his ankle, he sat out 1 game, played the next one, and you're like, oh no, he's going to play 2. No, sat out the next one. So, bit of a crazy one. Then we got the Victor Wembanyama game winner, 101-100, San Antonio get by a feisty Phoenix Suns down the stretch. It took everything they had, including a 7'40" French alien hitting a game-winning jump shot. It was nuts. 34-12 and 3 steals for Wemby, but the shot at the end to win it all was just kissing fingers emoji. That was great. You had the Yaz just kick the absolute bejesus out of the Bucks, 128-96. And the Sixers-Sacramento game out in Sacramento is ongoing because I'm not going to wait for that horrible game to finish to tape the show, because I'm going to go pick up the squid, and then I'm going to go smash a million tins as part of the Brunswick Dads, the school dads drinks tonight. So, I've got other things to do than watch a half of the Philadelphia-Sacramento game, in which the Sixers are up 71-62. My beloved Maxi Urano has got 16. Q Grimes has already dropped 20. VJs look good. Philly should win this, and they kind of need to, because the Kings aren't really trying. But anyway, so there you go. Hey, but the thing is, no one's going to top these performances, basically. So let's get into it with the NBA Australia Pro Performer of the Night.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
It was LUKA. He had 60. I don't know what to tell you. He had 40 after 3 quarters, and then sort of slowly was like, I'll eke my way back into the fourth quarter. I'll get a 2 here. Yeah, check this out. Gets a 3 to go. And then suddenly he's gotten to 50. And then suddenly he's on 55. And you're like, holy crap, he's going to get to 60. Gets there with a misses 1 free throw. He could have had 61. But it was awesome. What a game. 9 of 17 from 3. 18 of 30 from the floor. And 15 of 19 from the free throw line. Now, I ask you, is that ethical? I think it is. I think it's ethical. The stupidest conversation we've ever had, isn't it? 60 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals from LUKA. But I think there's 2 important things here, right? One, LUKA's looked just absolutely off his head great. Great over this last little stretch. So they've won 8 straight games, this Lakers team. The MVP question is being asked. The answer is shush, no. Because SGA, I don't know, is it the MVP of the last 2 weeks? Or is it the MVP of this entire season? At which point you should go, well, it's the season, Jim. And it's SGA. His team's been incredible. LUKA has been absolutely fantastic, and the raw numbers back it all up. SGA plays both ways, though, so just everybody settle down. The thing is, LUKA is making an absolute run at this. And he has been that good that he's forcing his way into the conversation. SGA, Jokic, Wemby, LUKA, it's all right there. The big problem is going to be whether or not Some of these dudes actually hit their sort of games played the 65 game mark, right? That's what it's going to come down to, because like when it comes to Wembanyama and LUKA and SGA, Jokic, etc., like Wemby has played 54 games, so you basically have to play every other game. Well, 55 now, I think, after today. So he's going to have to play most of the rest of the games the rest of the way to like be in the conversation. LUKA's been unreal, and in terms of like his games played as well, like LUKA missed that little bit of time, but he's still gotten to 57. So he should be cruising along as long as he doesn't tweak anything. But what happens if he keeps doing this? What happens if he keeps doing this? Because LUKA has been off his head for the last little stretch where I think his last run of games here, he had 40 against Houston just the other day. So he's just had 100 in less than 24 hours, which is just like, these are the things where you just go, hang on. His last 7 games, he's had 40, 10 and 9, 36, 6 and 4, 30, 13 and 11, 51, 9 and 9 made threes, 31, 11 and 11, 35, 8 and 5 made threes, 44, 9 and 7 made threes. It's a thing, and it's deservedly a thing, because he's been unreal. He's unreal. It probably gets him top 3. He might even sneak ahead of Jokic with the way that Denver are going right now, right? Can he make it an actual conversation heading down the stretch? Probably, because he's going to keep scoring. And the Lakers are playing that well with this new hierarchy of, hi, my name's LUKA DONČIĆ. I'm the protagonist in the worst trade in the history of this sport. And then there's Austin Reeves. And then there's LeBron James, the guy who owns all of the records in that sport too. So now that LeBron's sort of settled in this third banana role, they just look awesome. He's flying around. Like, LeBron had a triple-double today. And it was just awesome. And it was cool against his old team. That's really fun, right? LeBron had 19, 10, and 15. It's just sick. But LUKA's playing that well that it's just all sort of like raising everything up. He's playing at a level that we've barely ever seen before. It rocks. Simple as that. Honorable mention, the game winner from Wemby. That's a knife. Oh, that is a knife, Jimmy. It's like, yes, it is, Victor. 34 and 12. Can play a bit. Jesus. The game winner was just so beautiful because, it's a proper game winner because you're down 2. 101, 100 they win it. The 17-foot pull-up jumper nails it. It was very, very good. Also sends them to the playoffs. Like, they're locked into a playoff spot now, which is very, very cool. But this final last minute of that game, he was absolutely nuts. Fox got them right to the brink with 26 seconds left. And then off they went. He hits the game winner, skadoosh, 34 and 12. And you get relegated to a little bit and a game winner, and you get relegated to a footnote because LUKA had bloody 60. 3 steals and a block as well for Wemby. Not bad. Are there any other honorable mentions? There was a couple of really other good sort of performances, right? Yeah, the 36, 7 and 9 for Harden. Bam still had 28 and 10. Mobley was awesome at 26 and 14 as well. So Jalen Duren, I mentioned he's 24 and 11. But still, 60. LUKA is absurd. Absolutely. I just don't know what to...
I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I just don't know.
I just don't know. All right, who is Spud of the night?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Spud of the night. Yeah, a few Spuds floating around today, Jim. Yeah, a few Spuds, eh? Look, Alexander Sarr went 1 for 12. Jesus, I don't know if you can be that tall and be that bad. 0 of 6 for Carlo Matkovic and Maxi Strus as well. And so far, I think we also got 3 of 16 for Dennis Jenkins. As I mentioned, he came back and into the starting lineup, and you're like, that's good. And his shooting performance was, that's not as good. You could almost say that's bad. Jalen Green keeping up appearances, 7 of 20. He's, God, he's been so bad. So bad. If there was anyone else on Milwaukee, I had to check this one. There's, not too many great performances out there, and I couldn't see anyone shoot the magic number today. And also, it looks like the search for the stats is a bit broken. So there you go. There's some spuds. How about old mate, no mates?
Old mate, no mates.
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 Who's got no mates today? Well, that would probably be Cade Cunningham. I mean, at some point, the dude just can't catch a break. He's got the best season of his career. He's on top of the world, number 1 seed in the East, looking like a real legit contender. And he has a collapsed bloody lung. So you might remember he went out of that game the other day with a lower back sort of contusion, and then he had back spasms after that. So you wonder if that sort of happened then. But jeez, it just sucks. The poor bloke. He's your mate. Just help him out. Come on, let's get him across the line one of these times. Bloody hell. Just absolutely brutal. Can't catch a break at all. He's like old mate, no mates with the basketball gods, I reckon. Pantsing of the night. This one's easy. I continue to be angered and dismayed by the displays of sheer ineptitude from your Orlando Magic. 38 and 31. They looked like they'd turn a corner, but this is it. They rope you in, and then they dash your hopes expertly. They've lost 3 on the trot now. The only saving grace for the Magic is that the Heat have also lost 3 on the trot. But the Magic going up against the Hornets today, I talked this out on yesterday's show in the preview, right? And that's why we're going to do this little playoff seedings race chat in a second. But to get absolutely pantsed 130 to 111 by the Charlotte Hornets, currently the 10 seed. Yes, I understand that Charlotte are very good and very fun, and they've been playing absolutely awesome. I think they have, basically the last 15 games, the Hornets have got like the 5th best record in the NBA, which is crazy. But Orlando, come on, give us something. That was just an all out and out pantsing. And because of that, your Atlanta Hawks are now the 6th seed. So I'll talk about this in a second. But that's a pantsing. Orlando. On Del Curry night, they got pantsed by Del Curry's Charlotte Hornets. Better than Lonzo Ball, Bronny James, and Ben Simmons.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. We're coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. Honorable mention to Elijah Harkless on your Utah Jazz. It's a soft J. 23 points, 10 assists, 2 rebounds. Awesome game for him. Career highs. 7 of 14 shooting, 4 of 10 from downtown. Good on you, Elijah. Colin Gillespie, the White Mamba, 24, 2 and 6. Awesome game. Gets let down right at the end. But look, Ace Bailey. They're just putting minutes into the kid. Sometimes it works. 33 points on 13 of 27 shooting today. 7 of 19 from downtown. 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, a block, 3 turnovers. Ace Bailey might be good. We don't know, but that was good. So there you go. He's better than Lonzo Ball, Ben Simmons, and Bronny James today. What about everyone's favorite? I'm already laughing. It's pretty good, I'll tell ya. Let's do it. It was a total team effort, and my Spartans played hard from start to finish in their 92-67 victory over North Dakota State today. 4 guys scored in double figures, led by Carson Cooper, who was 7 for 9 from the floor with 20 points and 11 rebounds. Carr added 17 points, Ward had 13, and Kohler had 12. The Spartans' excellent point guard Jeremy Fears had 11 assists at MSU basketball. What do we say? Thanks, Magic. I think my favorite, though, was I think I actually responded to one of them, which was just perfect because this is good. I'm looking forward to seeing my MSU Spartans play North Dakota State tomorrow. To win the game, the Spartans have to rebound, play tremendous defense, and create fast break opportunities. I responded, thanks, Magic. They'll also have to score more points than them to win. Thanks, Jim. Love it. All right, dickhead of the week.
Dickhead of the week.
Not so many dickheads of the week. I just sort of, I don't know, it's just cool that they brought out Robert Parrish. And just like, love the Chief. Loved him, like what? When I was a kid on the Celtics, then he's on that Hornets team that I was talking about just before. And he's like off the bench on that Bulls team in 97. Very gnarly stuff. Just one of those nice little reminders of how much of a legend he was, right? 1,611 basketball games. That's just, they're absolutely insane numbers, aren't they? Like even in that second last season for Charlotte coming off the bench, he started 34 of the 74 games. He came off the bench for 40 of them. But he still played 74 games. That's insane. All-time legend stuff. We'll talk about him again in a second. Let's do some yeah, nahs and stuff right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Giddey.
This is Daryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're
Australia.
listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
All right. Let's do some yeah nahs brought to you by you. That's right. You can help support the show by buying us a coffee, buying us a beer, whatever you feel like, joining the Dead Set Legends Club over at buymeacoffee.com/NBA Straya. Simple as that. You get exclusive shows each month, extra stuff that I just like, talking about, which is very fun. Costs barely anything, so go check it out. It's basically our Patreon, right? So help keep the lights on, keep the pirate ship afloat. Buymeacoffee.com/NBA Straya. Thanks to all the legends already in the Dead Set Legends Club. You're all Dead Set Legends. And yeah, keep sending through any ideas for the Dead Set Legends Club next episode as well that you just want me to cover. It's good times, great memories. Right. Buymeacoffee.com/NBA Australia. Yeah, nah. Detroit cooked. Yeah, nah. Ooh. It 100% depends on how much time Cade misses, right? If he misses more than the 2 weeks and this stretches into the first round of the playoffs, then yeah, they're cooked. Because as we're going to get to in a second with this playoff seeding race, it is chaos. And those playoff seeds in that range, that even if Detroit hold on to the 1 seed, whoever gets through the play-in and lands in the 8th spot could be an absolute bastard to play, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's horrifying. It could be Charlotte, Orlando, Miami, like Atlanta. Like, just look at that spot and you go, God damn, son, right? So, I'm just saying, Detroit, if they don't have Cade for those games, yes, they could be cooked. But the thing is, the big question for me is, will they hang on to the 1 seed? They're 3.5 games up on the Boston Celtics. Yeah, nah. Yes. I think just because they're 3.5 games up. It might even be more after today because they got a win and Boston didn't play, right? So yeah, it's a 4-game break between the two of them. And I believe that means of 13 games left. I think 9 of the final 13 games that Detroit have to play are against teams above 500. So the Tankathon, strength of schedule stuff basically tells you that in terms of like who's got tougher opponents right now, Boston and Detroit are fairly similar. The one to keep an eye on is New York. But the thing is, can Boston get the 1 seed? Yeah, nah. Yeah, they could, but it all depends on how Detroit go. Dennis Jenkins filling in for Cade Cunningham, Tobias Harris stepping up. Jalen Duren may be doing a little bit better. I don't know. But with those 13 games to play and a 4-game lead, like if Detroit goes, they get a win today. 13 more games. If you go 6 and 7 in that span, you're probably fine. Boston has to go like 10 and 3 to catch them basically-ish, thereabouts. And even then, Detroit's got the tiebreaker. So it gets pretty hard with, like, I think the Celtics have got 8 tough games remaining as well, like against top 8 seeds in both conferences. I think they've got 2 against the Hawks, which is pretty interesting. They've got the Heat, they've got the Raptors, they've got the Knicks, they've got the Magic. They have the Wolves, but the Wolves without Anthony Edwards is a little bit how you going. So, but you look at Detroit, their toughest games, they've still got OKC, so do Boston. Detroit's still got the Lakers. They've got 2 against the Wolves, but again, the Wolves without Ant-Man is a little bit of a different sort of thing. Raptors, Magic, and Atlanta. They've got 4 pretty easy games, however. They're like, they're actually both of them do play New Orleans, but they've got Golden State, Milwaukee, Indy. I don't know. I feel like Detroit just hold on. Just. Because the Knicks is the other one that you're sort of like, ooh, look out. They're 5.5 games back, though. It's just a little bit too far, I reckon. Despite New York having a pretty easy schedule, they've still got games against Washington, Brooklyn, the Grizzlies, the Bulls, and the Pelicans. That could be another 5 wins, like right off the bat. Whereas their hard games remaining, they've still got OKC as well. Boston as well. That's a slide flip game. Rockets, Raptors, Atlanta, and 2 games against Charlotte. So that's pretty rough. So I don't know. I reckon the Pistons just hold on to it. If not, unless Boston go on an absolute tear here. And if you look at this Celtics schedule, right, you just go sort of game by game. I talked this out, I think, on the Supercoach show. Like, Tatum is an interesting one because I think they've only got 1 more back-to-back for the season. And so they now play Memphis. In Memphis, they're home for Minnesota. And then a nice little break, and they're home for OKC. That's a huge game. Home for Atlanta, at Charlotte, back-to-back, then at Atlanta. So then at Miami. So they're just going down a little bit of a southeast trip. Then at Milwaukee, back home for Toronto, and back home for Charlotte. Back in New York, home to finish off the season against the Pelicans and the Magic. It does sort of feel like they might drop probably at least 2 of those at the bare minimum. Maybe 3, maybe 4. Boston might like their chances, though. They play so hard because Joey Muzz, oh, bro, let's watch the town just one more time before we get on this plane, bro. It's like, okay, Joey Muzz, just settle down. But they're that good, they might reel them in. We also had, I think, some other yeah-nahs sent through yesterday. Let's have a look. Yes, we did. I think this was Zachy Beat. This is good. Hey, Jim, 2 yeah-nahs for you. Number 1, should the Nets be kicked out of the league? Yeah, nah, because the Milwaukee Bucks. Look, the Nets scored 24 points against OKC yesterday, right? OKC's the best team in the league. Today, the Milwaukee Bucks, it felt much more egregious. They lose by 32 to the Utah Jazz. That's just egregious. Like, what are we doing here? And number 2, he asks, can the Celtics win it all? Yeah, nah. Yeah. I think they can. I think this Celtics team now, of all the teams in the East, they're probably the most dangerous looking. I reckon it's between them and the Knicks now, where you just go, ooh, right. The Cavs have looked a little bit, don't know here, and it's just a bit of a problem. But the Celtics, I feel, actually, with Tatum sort of like playing that secondary role next to Jaylen Brown, they're probably the most dangerous team in the East. Could they win it all? If they get in a knockdown, drag-out fight against OKC, San Antonio in the finals or something, I'd probably still pick the West team. But if you're there, you've got a shot. So I guess the answer is yeah. But speaking of which, what playoff series or playoff seedings, there we go, playoff seedings races do we need to keep an eye on right now? Well, there's a couple of absolute rippers at the moment, right? Because you've got this like array of battles going on. Obviously, the East 1 seed. Detroit, 4 games up on the Boston Celtics. So Detroit are 50-19, 4 games up on the Celtics, 46-23. So they played the same amount of games. And, I mean, you can throw the Knicks in there, but 5.5 is probably just a little bit beyond the pale. going to be awesome to keep track of this Celtics team as they, finish off the season, the final 13 games of the season. What can they do? Can they go 10-3? Can they go 11-2? If they can do 11-2, they might just snag a 1 seed, which is crazy. That's an awesome race. Then you've got the race in the East, which is basically 6 through 10, which is separated by 2.5 games. Because your Atlanta Hawks, who have won 11 straight games, are now in the 6th seed in an actual playoff spot, not a play-in spot. Atlanta are just like, what's going on? This is crazy. They're 38-31. They're actually only 1.5 games back behind the Toronto Raptors, FYI. But we'll leave the Raptors out of this because 38-31 Hawks, 38-31 the Magic, 38-32 the Miami Heat. So the Magic and Heat have both lost 3 games. The Sixers are probably going to win again today, so they will be 38-32. And then looking at their conference record, they might duck ahead of the Heat maybe. Oh no, they've lost 3 more games than them. So anyway, the other one at the end of that is the Hornets in the 10 spot. 2.5 games out of the 6 spot. Can the Hornets do it? I don't know. I reckon they can at least get, they're 2 games up or 2 games out of 8, 2.5 games out of 6. I love this Hornets team. I'm not going to put anything past them. They are probably the most dangerous floater, I reckon, in the bottom. Get them in a playoff series and who knows what's going to happen, but that is a wildly entertaining playoff race there. Outside of that, what about in the West? Well, the West, there is a huge morass of 4, 5, 6. It is your Minnesota Timberwolves, 43-27. Your 41-27 Houston Rockets, and your 42-28 Denver Nuggets. Ew. What's going on here? So there's 1 game separating those 3 teams, Minnesota, Houston, and Denver. Houston have a couple of extra games up their sleeve because they're only 41-27, so they've only played the 68 games. Minnesota's already played 60. Minnesota don't have Ant-Man. Houston can't play offense in fourth quarters. That seems to be a problem. And Denver look just completely discombobulated. I don't know how Jokic came back and they just got worse, but here we are. It's a bit strange, I'll be honest. But the 4, 5, 6 is the big race there. And then outside of that, you've got 8, 9, 10. So Minnesota, Houston, and Denver, that's very good. 8, 9, 10, you've got Clippers, Portland, Golden State. They're all separated by a half game. Simple as that, right? So this is pretty important, 8, 9, 10, because if you get the 8 spot, you get the double chance to make it into the playoffs in the play-in tournament, right? Because you can lose that first game, you get another chance. If you're in the 9 or 10 spot, you can't lose. Simple as that. So you got the Clippers at 34-36, same as the Blazers, and 33-36 are the Warriors. They've probably been playing the worst of the 3. They're 2-8 in their last 10. It's just a bit all over the shop, right? But I think the Minnesota, Houston, and Denver things are pretty interesting because you look at Houston's run home, it's a little bit easier than the Nuggets and the Wolves. The Wolves have got a couple of games against Detroit, as I mentioned. They play Boston. They play Houston twice. Those are 2 just massive swing games, right? They played the Magic, the Sixers, and Charlotte. Denver have got a big game against OKC. 2 games against the Spurs, a game against Toronto, and a game against Phoenix. Whereas Houston sort of have those 2 games against the Wolves without Ant-Man. They've got a Knicks game, a Phoenix game, another big swing game, Atlanta, Miami, Philly. But they've got Utah, 2 Grizzlies games for the Rockets, which will be massive. A Bulls game, a Milwaukee game, and a Golden State game. So Houston might be the one to keep an eye on there that might just be able to right the ship and still sneak into the 4 spot. But Denver has the best upside, right? Because it seems like as soon as they keep getting their dudes back and just get it all pointing in the right direction, they'll be fine. So anyway, those seeding races are awesome. So in the East, 1 seed. Sticking in the East, 6 through 10. You can expand that 5 through 10, where it's only separated by 4 games. Toronto through Charlotte, but that's still awesome. In the West, 4, 5, 6, and 8, 9, 10. Those are worth keeping an eye on. All right. Unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Let's do some power rankings. Friday power rankings. TGIF, am I right? Bloody hell, you're right. Let's start at the bottom. Get in the bin. Indiana Pacers. They've lost their 15 straight games. Is that right? Yeesh. That's just... I know that they're trying their little cotton socks off, but that's just horrible. Then we've got the Washington Wizards, who let a bloke score 83 on them last week. The Brooklyn Nets and the Utah Jazz, who did just get a win against the Bucks, but come on. All of them get in the bin. The Brooklyn Nets scored 24 points and a half of basketball the other day. Punch in the dick bad. These teams are like playing the kids, the Grizzlies, and the Sacramento Kings. And then you look at the Kings, you go, wait a minute. DeMar DeRozan's not a kid. Russell Westbrook's not a kid. But they are punching the dick bad. Don't get me wrong. Both those teams are punching the dick bad. But at least like slightly more watchable than the bottom four. The shit but trying kinda tier. That would be your Dallas Mavericks. They're shit, but they are still kind of trying to a degree. Like, they're 23 and 47. They're doing a very good job of tanking, though, because this is ethical tanking. They have now dipped below the Pelicans in the West. So 23 and 47 versus the Pels 25 and 46. That's just good tanking. The Mavs now suddenly have the 6th best odds in the draft. That's pretty bloody good. But they are just playing their dudes as well, so good on them. Milwaukee, train wreck. Chicago, shit, but trying, kinda. Josh Giddey had 19 assists. The woof tier. Golden State and Philly. Just watching those games are just brutal, but they are better than the other ones because they're just, I don't know. Philly's got VJ. Oh no, who am I kidding? They stink. They're in freefall, but they are probably still going to beat Sacramento today. They're up 12 at the end of this third quarter, basically. Anyway, woof for those two teams. The good but bad tier. This is Portland. The Pelicans have just snuck ahead of Portland because they're playing awesome. Portland have won the last two on the trot as well, but I think over this last little stretch, New Orleans has got a better record. It's pretty crazy, so good job by them. Then you got the Phoenix Suns, who are good, but they are also bad, and the Raptors, who are good but also bad. The Raptors have sort of turned a little bit of a corner. The wheels are off tier. Could almost sit below this, like that good but bad tier, but these four teams are kind of up there going, oh, hang on, are we good? I don't know. The Clippers, they could be in the woof tier. In fact, we're moving the Clippers to woof. Executive decision. Clippers, you're being pinged 4 spots for losing back-to-back games to the Pelicans. You're going down to woof. So woof is now Sixers, Warriors, and Clippers. The wheels are off tier are those 4, 5, 6 teams in the West. Minnesota, Houston, and Denver. All just, the wheels are kind of a little bit off, question mark. The look out tier, that'd be your Cleveland. Yes, that's right, Cleveland Cavaliers. Because they were in the pretty good tier, Cleveland, but look out, I don't know. Look out, are they free-falling? Look out, are they good? Question mark. Miami, look out, are they in free fall? Same with the Magic. Look out, are they in free fall? And then you've got the Charlotte Hornets, who are, look out, they're good. They could actually probably jump up to the pretty good tier because that's how good they've been playing. As I mentioned, right, they've won out of the last 15 games. They've got like the 5th best record in the NBA, which is crazy. That's so good. Yeah, Charlotte are 10-5 in the last 15. Good on them. Pretty good tier. We've had to ping Detroit all the way down to the bottom of the pretty good tier from out of the really bloody good tier because no Cade. Atlanta have jumped all the way up to the pretty good tier because they've won 11 straight games. And the Knicks are still right there. I feel like the Knicks are just a tick below the top 4. Basically because every Knicks game comes with like a metaphysical conversation for Knicks fans. It's like, are we good? Do I like Cat or Brunson? Does Mike Brown have to be fired? Anyway, and then the really bloody good tier, we've got the Lakers because they've won 8 straight. They look absolutely awesome. They're 11-4 in their last 15, and it's even more than that if you just get it down to the last 12. Then the Celtics are absolutely crushing 11-4 in their last 15. And then you've got the 13-2 San Antonio Banderas Spurs and Oklahoma City Thunder at the top 2 spots in the really bloody good tier. Those 4 are really bloody good. And yes, the Lakers have firmly entered the conversation of, I said this the other day, right? The 9 teams can win this NBA title. The Lakers were not in that 9. I think the Lakers have now replaced the Houston Rockets in that 9. I don't know if the Houston Rockets, I don't think the Rockets can win the title. The Lakers, if it all just goes crazy and they just keep doing this, they could. What a world. All right, let's do an Outback Takehouse. It's Friday at Outback, and you know what that means. TGIF, am I right? Oil drum cans, 4 for 1 of icy cold Fosters. That's right, it's Australian for beer or whatever. It's not that bad, actually, but yeah, no prick in Australia drinks this, so whatever. Anyway, 4 for 1, only at Outback. And today's Fine Girl take is, I'm fine with the 65-game rule. Stop your sooking. Gee, like, we either acknowledge that injuries happen or we don't. Right? Simple as that. Did it stop load management? I kind of think it's helped. Because you had dudes sort of playing as much as they have to hit this 65-game mark. And I reckon there's a case, especially down the stretch of this season, guys were playing almost every game because they have to hit this 65-game mark, right? You look at all of the stars sort of across the board. Yes, you're going to have some people who are casualties of the 65-game mark. We get that. It's because they've missed time. This is what happens. I don't have to explain that, yes, injuries do happen in basketball. It sucks. We all get it. A collapsed lung is horrible. But the idea is we brought it into stop load management. I think it's kind of worked, right? And so shut up, nerds. You got what you wanted. Oh, but now it's affecting these other players that I really like, and that makes me sad. So I think we need to change the rules so it suits my thing right now. What are you, 3? It's like the squid. He's like, I want mum. And I'm like, just, mum's asleep and sick. Shush. Go to the potty. Oh, I'm here to help. Just bloody do your thing. Stop your sooking. Carrying on like a pork chop. Stop your sooking, you nerds. Blokes aren't hitting the made-up benchmark. Oh, no. What are we going to do about our All-NBA teams? I don't know. Vote the players who have played more than fucking 65 games to the All-NBA team. Like the rules say. Stop the fucking whinging. I thought AFL fans were the biggest whingers. They're scoring too much. It's too much fun. Oh. And then basketball fucking fans. Everything sucks when it comes to basketball, doesn't it? Today we got a 60-point game from LUKA, a game winner from Wemby. Fucking stop your crying. Jeez, they take too many threes. It hurts. Shut up. Fuck me. Everybody grow up a little bit. Anyway, Australian Player Watch. Broadsides, Jim. Broadsides. Josh Giddey. Giddy up against Cleveland. He had 12 assists in that first half. 19 for the game. A new career high for the mop-top Mamba. You love to see that. Unfortunately, it came in a loss, and they got their heads kicked in. Well, good fight back, but still. 9 points on 4 of 11 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, and 2 blocks for Giddey. Not bad. Did not play coach's decision for Lockie Olbrick. You get that on the big jobs. Who else? We had Josh Green, obviously, out there for the Charlotte Hornets. He played 18 minutes. He had 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal. Shot 2 of 4 from the floor, 1 of 3 from 3. Not bad. No Tyrese Proctor, still dealing with his quad. And that was it. Because no other Aussies out there today. No Portland games. No Minnesota games today. Joe Ingles' 7 points in 7 minutes yesterday was electric. BT dubs. Love that. And no Atlanta game. So, nice. All right, quick. Andrew Gaze Grey Mamba Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence.
It's the first annual Andrew Gaze Grey Mamba.
Outstanding achievement in the field of
excellence. 1,611 games is insane. That's so many games, LeBron. 23 seasons it took him to get there, though. Robert Parrish's run of games played is incredible to look at in retrospect. His years in Golden State, coming off the bench as a young fella, 77, 82, 76, 72 games. Unreal. By the end of that, he's averaging a 17 and 10. That's awesome. And then gets traded to the Celtics, and they start winning titles and being an absolute powerhouse. 82, 80, 78, 80, 79, 81, 80, 74, 80, 79, 81, 79, 79, 74 for the 93-94 Boston Celtics. And then lands on Charlotte for the 94-95 season. Still plays 81 games. Plays 74 games the year after, 34 starts as well, which is just crazy. And then lands on the 97 Bulls. After that, plays 43 more games, taking him to 1,611 regular season games. That is just... It's absolutely insane. On your Chief. Love that. So, yeah, good job by LeBron to tie that up. It's very cool, but, hey, respect where respect's due. The Chief. Awesome bloke. Don't know how good he is at goal kicking. Probably won't touch Dunstall's record, but not bad. All right, what about some game previews after a Patty Mills Game Day Ball or Game Day Twitter check-in? Let's have a look. What do we got? Patty Mills. I think he played his first... Oh, Sublime and not cancelling. Well, you beauty. We're still coming, says Sublime. I can't wait. I'm so excited about that Sublime gig here in Melbourne. I fucking love Sublime. Nothing new from Patty. He's just got his Tenerife stuff and off he goes. That's pretty good. Oh, there's a pretty cool one. 29th of March, 12 o'clock. Let's go. Atenciones, este lunes activaremos la venta de entradas para el choque. I think it's Patty Mills is going to be there and he's going to be going off his head. Can't wait. Love that. All right. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. You excited for the weekend? Oh, yeah. Should be a good one. Got the big day night out on Sunday for pub cricket. So no Sunday show again. We'll just do a Monday. But anyway, it should be a good one. Got lots going on. Got the dad's drinks tonight. Watch some footy. So tomorrow. Actually, how did we go on the picks today? What did we do? We nailed Charlotte. I don't think... Oh, no, Washington might not have covered that. That's hilarious. We did nail the Lakers pick. I think we picked Cleveland. We did pick New Orleans. San Antonio didn't cover. Can't remember if we took them or Phoenix. Let's have a look. Actually, I've got them written down over here. Where are they, Jim? Wait, no, it's over here. Pull them up. Yeah, Charlotte. Missed out on Washington, got Lakers, missed out on Cleveland, got New Orleans, got Phoenix because we had them plus 9.5, missed out on Milwaukee, and we're probably going to miss out here on Sacramento because, they're down by 23 with 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. So, not great. Kings. Fire the laser! Fire that team into the sun. Right, Saturday's games tomorrow morning. We've got a battle of the boroughs, New York versus Brooklyn. Knicks are going to kill them. 17.5 point favorites. Yeesh. I would have taken 23. We're taking the Knicks minus 17.5. That Nets team is horrible. Watch Mikal Bridges go whack. Play himself into some form. Golden State at Detroit. Huge game for the Pistons. The Pistons are 6.5 point favorites. I'm going to have to take Golden State on the road. Plus 6.5. Like they're basically, you think about the Pistons without Cade. They've got Duran. You've got Tobias. You've got Orsar. You've got Dennis Jenkins, but I think the Warriors will put up a fight. Let's take the plus 6.5. Atlanta, Houston, huge game. Hawks riding this 11-game win streak. You got the Rockets who can't score in fourth quarters all of a sudden. I think the Rockets might just pip them, but I reckon it'll be really close. I might take the Hawks plus 3.5 because I think if they lose, it's a real tight one and the Rockets just pull it out. Boston at Memphis. Celtics should kill them. Minus 14.5. Let's take the Celtics there. Portland at Minnesota. Oh, it's a Martell Webster Bowl. Wolves are 3.5 point favorites against Portland. I might take the Blazers plus 3.5. Yeah. The Wolves, I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. It's a lot of AO. It's a lot of Julius Randle. That's like a good coping mechanism, I reckon, for the Wolves. I don't know if it's a good coping mechanism against half-decent other teams, though. Portland, half-decent. So let's go the Grizz. Not the Grizz, the Blazers. And then we've got Toronto, Denver. These games are all very, very interesting, apart from New York, Brooklyn. A lot of these games are great. Toronto, Denver. It's a strange one, isn't it? The Nugs are 6.5-point favorites. I think I'll take the Nugs because, again, it's Toronto. And what do? They don't beat good teams. And here we are. So let's go the Nugs. Some other ones on Sunday that are pretty interesting. You've got Lakers Magic. Replay of the 2009 NBA Finals. Cleveland Pelicans is pretty fun. Golden State Atlanta. Not bad. Miami Houston. Also very good. Clippers Dallas. Yeah, sure. Anyway, there you go. But that's it. What a week it was. To cap it all off with a 60-point explosion from LUKA after we got a BAM 83 the other day. That's just what a world we live in. You can find all of our picks over at Double as well. Go check it out. You can find the link in our show description and our social bios too. But that's it for the week. We'll be back on deck on Monday. As I mentioned, no Sunday night show because I got big day not out, so I'll be on the tins all day Sunday playing a bit of cricket. But make sure you're following NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, and YouTube, of course. Get around Footy Unfilterated. That's our new AFL show. Just like little baby steps. Me and Jez just trying things out, seeing what we like chatting about. Just a really straight up AFL show. Really enjoy that. Get around Footy Unfilterated on the socials and subscribe everywhere as well. Same as with Jim Does Supercoach for your AFL and NBA Supercoach needs. All right there. And NFL Straya, which as well, myself and Gaz. Gaz is over in Europe, but we'll be back on that after free agency and the draft. All right. Rate, review, and star and subscribe all of those shows on your podcast app and YouTube and all that sort of stuff. Help a brother out. Like, comment, subscribe, send through some yeah-nahs. Just hit us up. Also, you can help the show out. buymeacoffee.com/NBA Straya. That just helps keep the lights on. Big thanks go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song They Rule. So to House Hats, Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinator, Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Sex Shadow, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them on your music streaming platform of choice. That's it. We'll throw a Cooking with Bainesy on the end of this one because I've got to get out of here and go pick up the squid. So we'll catch you on Monday, dickheads. Here's to a big weekend. Let's go the John Curtin in the big day not out. Go the O's. Come on. This NBA Australia saying look after yourselves, would you? And later, hosen.